Hey guys, welcome back to another sunny day in Queensland, another episode of 0 to 60. What have we got today, Dave?
Today we are finally doing 0 to 60 on a car I've wanted to for a long time. It's the E70 X5 with a 4.8.
Now that's particularly cool to us. We have the E53 4.6 IS model, which we've become a bit fond of.
Yeah, it's a great car.
We love it. But this is like the next generation, and I've got a bit of a suspicion that this 4.8 might even be better than the 4.6.
Look, I'm not 100% sure. It would make sense. It's newer technology, it is a newer engine, and it is a bigger capacity as well.
Now this car is pretty well spec'd, but before we get on to how it's spec'd, should we have a quick look at the engine? Now it is the N62, where the one in our E53 is the M62. What that means is it's basically the later generation. I've never opened an E70 bonnet.
She's right down the bottom there, so it's unlike all of ours that poke through the grille.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Okay, and you can see the engine deep down in there. Now that's very, very similar engine to what was in Phil's 740.
Yep, but this is quite a bit bigger capacity, so I'm hoping it should have, despite being all-wheel drive and carrying a bit more weight, I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit more torquey, a little bit more pokey than that big 7 Series.
Yeah, now I do think as well, comparing this to our 4.6, the numbers on paper are actually as close as makes no difference. I think this might be like 10 horsepower more or something, but it is a heavier chassis as well. But I think the big thing that might help this motor out is the ZF 6-speed.
Yeah, so it's a newer generation gearbox, it's quicker shifts, a little bit smarter, and having that extra gear, as opposed to our ZF5, you got better ratios as well.
That's it, and I've got a feeling these make better torque through the power range, where the M62 is quite a nice engine when you get it revving. Yeah. These quite good mid-range. It's going to be interesting. We haven't actually driven this car properly. We've only sort of driven it around the yard. But quickly looking at it before we get out and see how quick it is, run them through the spec.
Well, it's so being the 4.8, it's pretty much the best one you can get before going to the X5M, which in the E70 you could actually get the X5M. So it's like, I don't think, it's hard to say, is it a direct newer version to our 4.6 IS, or would you say the IS is more of the X5M?
The IS is definitely X5M, so this has got normal X5 seats that you could option in a diesel. We'll have a quick look at the inside. It has got wood grain. Now, I'm sorry, Adrian, who owns this vehicle, I thought it had beige, but it doesn't. It's actually quite a nice mocha coffee colour interior. With a clean-up, I think it would look quite good. It has got the walnut-style wood grain. I think that's the sports steering wheel from memory, and it's recently had, and by recently, hopefully you've seen the video, we just put that Android head unit into it yesterday, and that's why we've managed to steal the car for a video. It's not a terrible interior. In fact, I'd say it's quite nice considering how old it is, and it looks a lot better than our E53.
There's a massive jump in design and features and stuff, which
space.
Yeah, I guess we'll get into that a bit more when we're on the road, but I am looking forward to actually doing some distance in it and
see what it's like?
Yeah, comparing it to our older generation E53.
Just quickly, it has got the panoramic sunroof, which I am a big fan of. That's the interior covered. Exterior, it has got the side steps. It has got these fat 20-inch wheels. In fact, massive. They are the same size wheels and tyres as what's on our E53 IS. They are huge. Yep. And it has got the flares,
which looks good. It looks really, really good. And again, on our model, those flares are specific to the IS.
Where that is...
It does look good, doesn't it, I think?
I think it's a lovely looking car, especially in the black. It looks quite menacing. And it has had a muffler delete.
Oh yeah.
So, do you want to fire it up?
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. See what she sounds like. It's got a nice note to it. It sounds relatively tight for a muffler delete.
It's nasty.
All right, guys, let's get in. We'll go for a drive and we'll see what this thing does 0 to 60 in.
Let's hit the road.
Let's head out on the road.
Let's do it.
It's funny, like my old E53 had a straight pipe, and again, it was quite loud on the outside, but in here, you can hardly hear the exhaust.
It's so good how these BMWs, you can cut the rear mufflers off and they sound great, but then as soon as you actually get, as long as when you're not hooning it, it's really quiet and civilized still.
So she's up to running temp. This is going to be Dave's first impression of what this sort of pulls like through the mid-range. Not going crazy with it, but...
We're in drive.
Oh, you can hear the exhaust now.
Oh, I like that.
Nice shifts. All right, guys, we'll get out to where we do the tests, and we'll see you guys shortly. So just cruising along. Now this is a section of road that we drive pretty much every day. It's not high speed, but because you've got these twisties at the 50km/h speed limit, 60, whatever it is, Dave was just saying he doesn't think this is as planted as the IS would.
It's not. You notice it very, very quickly. It feels more of a luxurious car than the 4.6 IS does. And admittedly, the 4.6, it's a very, very sporty feeling for an SUV.
Yes.
Whereas this is more laid back. Even with the muffler delete, as soon as you accelerate, you get that V8 growl. But it's going along the bumpy roads. It feels more like you would expect from a big
Luxury SUV?
Yeah.
It's not a sports car.
I know you've driven Clint's E70 X5M. Did that feel more like the IS or more like this?
100% like the IS. Like the X5M made me instantly feel like you could throw it into a corner, be silly with it. It hit its weight very well. Where even in the passenger seat on this, I could feel it sort of wallowing around.
Yeah, which is what you get straight away. And I think,
which is not a bad thing. This is a luxury four-wheel drive. It is not a race car.
And I guess when you jump up to the X5M, it is much more of a sports car.
Yes.
So on this straight here, I might pop it into sport mode and just see how it pulls.
Okay.
Okay, it feels revvier than the M62.
The shifts are pretty good.
It shifts great, it sounds great.
It revs. That was over $5,000 for a long time.
Yeah, it's
in sports mode, she's got some poke.
It's really, really good. I must say, straight away driving it, you notice a few of the more luxurious features than you do to the previous generation. Even like the like we said, the gearbox is a more newer, better design unit. But even having the electronic shifter, like what you get on the ZF8s, it just makes driving it
feel a bit newer.
Yeah, nicer.
So Dave, we're just coming up to a nice safe space to do the runs. What do you reckon it's going to do, 0 to 100 kilometres an hour?
Look, officially I think they rated at 6.5,
yep,
which is pretty spicy for a big car. I don't think it's going to do that.
And keep it in mind, our 4.6 IS, when we tested that, was nearly 2 seconds off its factory time. We do not use rollout, where I think a lot of the magazines do use rollout, which is cheating.
It's also, we're using the Draggy as well. It's a true 0 to 100 test.
Yeah, I'm feeling like it's going to be high 7s, low 8s.
I'd say you're probably on the money. That's what I reckon. And also, judging by the amount of cars we've done previously, when they've got about 200,000 kilometres on, that's sort of, they do lag from their official time a little bit. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below before we do them.
All right, let's go do these runs. All right, here we go. Oh, it launched.
It sounds good.
It makes the right noises. And there it is.
Yes, I'll do the 122.
Wow. It's slower than I thought it was going to be. That's come up at 9.08, 0 to 100 kilometres an hour. So like 2.5 seconds off its factory time.
Wow, interesting.
So just to confirm for everyone, that was in DTC mode and sports mode on the automatic. There's not a lot of driving to be done in this. That's as fast as it's going to go.
That's it. It's revving right out.
Let's give it one more run. We'll give it one more run.
All right, it might learn, might go a bit better the second time. Okay.
Run number 2. Draggy's reset.
I'm going to stall it up, make sure she gets a really good launch.
Oh, like it does. When you let the brake off, it's pulling hard.
It's aggressive, that bit, and the shift's nice.
But then it just slows down.
It just doesn't pull through the RPM rapidly.
All right. We're good. So it went a little bit quicker. It went 0.3 quicker at 8.8 seconds, 0 to 100.
That's
very surprising. It's
yeah,
much slower than I thought it was going to be.
That's interesting.
I can't remember the 4.6 IS times, but I remember they were slower than we thought.
They were.
We might have to do a comparison video on that. All
That's
right.
not a bad idea, actually, a direct 0 to 100 comparison between the two vehicles.
Let's head back to the headquarters, which is what we call our house now. And
round it up.
We'll give you guys a summary shortly. it makes the right noises.
It sounds fantastic. And look, as a car, it drives really nicely too.
I gotta say, it's probably, well it is, I've got to admit it. It's nicer to be in than our 4.6 IS. Yeah. It is just a smoother, more comfortable car, more spacious, and it feels like a next generation, which it is. But it's not as quick as I thought it was gonna be.
No, I'm really surprised at that. And that's, to be honest, I was kind of thinking like, would this be a good car to upgrade to one time? Because they're similar value to the E53, the IS anyway.
IS, yep.
You know, mid-teens you can pick these up for now, and we do a lot of towing with ours, so I'm wondering if, like I said, again, it's not as quick, so I don't think it'll tow a car up some of the hills as well.
Why don't we throw the question out there? What do you guys think? Should we sell the 4.6 IS, which is currently getting painted, and move into an E70 4.8, or should we just keep the 4.6?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that are definitely nice about this vehicle, but then again, that IS, it is a special car, especially in that Imola red.
Even if it's 10 years older than this. Guys, I'm actually thinking what I might do is in tomorrow's video, we'll do a side-by-side video of the 4.6 IS draggy run versus this.
Yes.
Just a true comparison. I can't remember, but I think they're going to be pretty similar. And it'd be interesting to see how they pull through the mid-range. This feels way quicker off the line, but then slows down up top.
Yeah, throughout the rev range, and it feels like it revs really nicely, and the shifts are, I'd say, better than the E53, but it just doesn't translate to a quicker time, despite having that better gearbox.
That's it. Well, let's end it off there. Guys, thank you for watching. We hope you've enjoyed a traditional 0 to 60 episode. We haven't done one of these in a while.
No, they're good. They're good to go in. And yeah, thank you very much for watching as always. So we'll see you in the next one.
And don't forget to check out 0 to 60.com for the
brilliant starter buttons that you would have seen in this vehicle.
sound effects.